So, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Wait, does that mean that my friend is my enemy? Or my enemy is my friend?
The last part.
Okay.
So, Alvin is our friend.
But wouldn't that mean Dagger's our friend too?
Oh. But who's the lesser of two evils here?
Snotlout? Alright, the final two-parter in Season 2, and it's, well, a pretty grand one, actually.
It's actually a lot grander than the season finale in Season 1.
Mm-hmm. So, it starts off with a training exercise in ambushing. It involves, of course, the Dragon Riders and using catapults. And when the catapults are too much for them, Hiccup orders a retreat, but Snotlout,
being his usual self,
he just presses on, and he destroys one of the catapults, or actually causes it to fire, and it
knocks off Astrid.
Yeah, it actually hurts her.
She almost got hurt really badly.
She almost got killed.
Yeah,
I think she was reaching terminal velocity.
Yeah.
Yes, but luckily she was saved in time by Hiccup.
But this brings up my favorite part about this two-parter is now our characterizations of our characters are now brought to they're brought against force to force, because since season 1 and 2
for 38 episodes, Hiccup and Snotlout have been bashing at each other's not throats, but more or less struggling to understand each other. Not even understand. Snotlout following orders, and Hiccup, well, I don't know if he's not certainly a coward, but he certainly doesn't try to take extreme risks. So one style over another, really, of how they think things should be done. And it comes to a head because, well, Snotlout thinks powering on through will always work. No brute force. Yeah, and this ends up almost close to injuring one of their own, and Hiccup has had enough. So he makes the decision to ground or suspend Snotlout from the academy. And of course,
he doesn't take it kindly.
No, he still tries to defy Hiccup.
Yes. And in his defiance, next day he's gone with his dragon. And this puts Hiccup in a slight bind because I don't know about the twins. I don't know if they really meant it, but they're questioning his leadership if he can't really control, well, Snotlout.
Or at least make the difficult decision.
Yes. And so it's at this point that we learn something interesting. When Hiccup goes to his father about this problem, we learn more about... Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, we are.
So meanwhile, in another place, we are following Snotlout, who claims Snotland. My God, he is such a narcissist.
And really does not know what his name means.
Might as well call it the Boogerland.
Alright, so while on that island, he finds a wrecked ship on the shore, and upon investigating it, finds the Screaming Death.
Yes.
Yes. So while trying to escape, he's actually knocked unconscious off of Hook Fang, and then is saved by a pair of feet.
Really? That's his name? A pair of feet?
Well, we just see a pair of feet. We don't see We don't see who it is yet until the pair of feet bring him back to Berk.
And what should his pair of feet be?
They are owned by
Alvin the Treacherous.
I knew it was too good to be true.
Yes. Who survived. So, yeah. This means that this is a callback to the Alvin character in the book, who seemed to always come back from the dead. Although he still looks the same in the series, he looked more disfigured in the books.
How ugly did he look in the books?
I think he lost the ears.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think like Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. But yeah, so these two episodes don't really lend much to comedy-wise, not really.
No, it's more serious and more heavy.
The only comedy is really Gobber listing off the crimes Alvin did. How many treacheries were there?
Let's see. There was a lot.
We had treachery.
Attempted treachery. Conspiracy to commit treachery. And, well, you get the idea.
Yes. A premeditated treachery.
Premeditated treachery.
My God. Now we're just going overboard.
I know. How much treacheries can you make?
Apparently a lot.
Yeah.
But, so, Alvin's locked up to the brig, and he actually has an agenda on his own, because he actually made up a good point. Why did he bring Snotlout home if he knew what was going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Alvin's not without a plan.
Yeah. It's not a devious plan, really. But we'll get to that later. Right. So while this is happening, Dagger has the plan to drop Dragon Root in the Dragon Arena and have the dragons fight each other. When that worked, and
now, what did they do with Dragon Root in the prior episodes?
What did the writers do?
No, like what did Hiccup do? Didn't he throw it in the sea, or did they find another one?
They threw it into the sea.
So
there was only that one.
So they found another one.
They found it. Well, I guess. I mean, you don't find. I mean, one ginger root doesn't just exist.
True, but.
All right. So they were running tests on it on Outcast Island, so I guess that kind of assumes that they know Gronkles are immune to it.
Yeah.
So they kind of planned this so that they were hoping that Hiccup would stay out of the way. And I gotta say, Dagger really did put a lot of thought into this plan.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first when he went to the arena to set the freaking route, I was like, if you just snuck in just to sit on the roof, why didn't he just invade the village already?
Well, it's because he wants the Night Fury.
But, yeah, he's so focused on one thing that he doesn't care about conquering a village. He just wants the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
The damn dragon.
Yep.
So, yeah, he really is deranged because, if he was actually using his wits and instead of his, insanity, he could actually conquer the village.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so in the ensuing chaos, it looks like Dagger is about to get the Night Fury, but Stoick comes in and saves him for the most part, but Berserkers still outnumber the Berkians, and Alvin, who was locked up, I don't know how he got out.
I'm guessing Snotlout.
When?
Oh, that's right. How? Yeah, you got a good point. I thought since Snotlout saw him last.
Yeah. But, okay, whatever. Alvin saves him, and his first act of saving him, kicks Savage in the chest.
Yes. And, by God, we see... Good God, these two are the Bash Bros. They're like Bash Brothers.
Yes.
Freaking Stoick and Alvin are just... Freaking one time he just goes... Boom.
Hey. So, Fishlegs and Meatlug eventually get the dragon root away, but while flying out, they accidentally knock Stoick down, and Dagger sees that as an opportunity to capture him, and he pretty much holds him ransom, saying that if I see any dragon, rider or not, you are going to find a new chief.
Now that just raises a question. Did Fishlegs knock Stoick unconscious?
I don't know. Well,
what?
It was a Gronkle.
Well, yeah, it's a Gronkle, but I could have swore he was still awake because he's still standing on his feet.
Well, he was knocked over by. He wasn't knocked over by just a lizard. It was a dragon, like very heavy, over 2 tons of dragon that could disorient even the manliest of Vikings.
But we just saw Stoick like freaking manhandle all freaking berserkers.
Berserkers are lighter than dragons.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying was, he did it unarmed with guys with swords.
Berserkers are lighter than dragons.
How come he couldn't escape on his own? How could he not escape on his own?
I don't know.
Because, I doubt he's just laying there. Oh, 2 guys are coming towards him with swords. I guess I better do nothing.
Because he was hit. Because he got a full force of 5,000 pounds of lizard.
But he was not knocked unconscious.
But he was disoriented.
Okay.
We're really getting nowhere with this.
Okay.
Alright, so the episode does end on a cliffhanger, kind of with the, heroic shot. Hiccup being shot at a low angle, his hair's blowing in the wind, and him just, glaring off in the distance saying that we'll get you back, Dad.
And that's just part 1.
Yeah, that's just part 1.
And going to depth about part 1, about Hiccup and his problems with Snotlout, when Hiccup goes to talk to the chief about this, for some reason, when the chief was telling him about how he's going to have to make some choices about what's good for the village and not what's good for his friends, I felt it was speaking from my personal experience, and I don't know why I had a gut feeling that Alvin was involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you.
No, it didn't. I was just too focused on him saying that one day you will be chief.
Because for some reason I could see parallels between Alvin and Snotlout.
Mm-hmm.
And damn, they were.
Yes, they were. But we'll go into that later. Because really, it's getting late.
Yep.
We're tired.
But
we're almost done. Almost done. Part 2 was also pretty good. And really for the fact that it's now kind of tying up
all the knots.
All the knots. Really, from not just from the last episode, but from season 2 as a whole, really.
Because we had Dagger, Screaming Death, and Alvin. Well, Alvin was knocked out part way, and then he came back. So we had these 2 threats.
Mm-hmm.
And they somehow tied it up in a nice bow.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Hiccup makes the decision. I think, I don't know, the way he talked to Alvin, just demanding him to take him to Outcast Island so that they can get his father back. That's the Hiccup I want to see, really. The one who takes charge.
Takes a lot to get that one out.
Mm-hmm. And that smile that Alvin makes.
It reminds me so much of the Joker.
Uh-huh.
So, no, there's a plan of action because how did he discover the Screaming Death?
How?
He run. Oh yeah,
Fishlegs discovers the Screaming Death because it's now instead of eating islands, it's eating sea stacks. I think it's now learned to eat it. Oh God, I can't think of the word now. I'm so tired.
Get a hold of yourself, man. Get a hold of yourself.
Don't ever do that again. I get dizzy.
Okay.
Whoa!
You awake?
Yeah. Alright, so the Screaming Death has learned to to be careful what it eats. It doesn't overeat now.
It's not sinking islands.
Mm-hmm. But when Hiccup and Alvin finally get to Outcast Island, they use an underground water system that feeds into like this lagoon, I think it would be called.
Yeah,
a lagoon under.
It pretty much goes into the island, into a secret passage of the cave.
Mm-hmm. Where it turns out Mildew was his person on the inside.
Of all people,
who's now like caring for Whispering Deaths, and Hiccup sees one Whispering Death just lying down with a bunch of eggs, and it turns out that was the mother.
So now we know why the Screaming Death is doing what it's doing.
Yeah, it's looking for its mother.
Aw, I don't know if I should be saying "aw"
or "oh."
Yes,
it's
like the Lost World. Mama's not very happy. Mommy's very angry.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's the child.
Yeah. So kind of good. So yeah, and it's making another. We see airmail again.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that was the same dragon. It was definitely more yellow and brighter than Sharpshot.
Yeah.
I think it might have been. It was either butt or head.
Probably one of them. But so now they have Mildew, Alvin, and
Hiccup
on the island trying to save Stoick, and Hiccup has a plan.
And he really does have a plan this time.
We think.
He really does.
Yeah. Didn't look like it though.
It didn't look like it though. He gets captured by Dagger, and so does his Night Fury. And just when it looks, and when Dagger is gloating over the fact that he now has a Night Fury, he doesn't notice his outcast pawns are being sucked underneath the ground.
Grab boards.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he suddenly realizes it when the ground starts to split. So now all the Whispering Deaths are free and now tearing up the outcast killing arena.
Yeah, and mind you, the animation for all that crumbling and all the destruction was pretty great.
It really was It was
a lot more destruction than previous episodes.
Yeah,
like most episodes would have rock blown off, scorching.
Mm-hmm.
Though mostly it was the Skrill. A view to a Skrill that had a lot more damage.
Yeah.
But we also learned, prior to the plan, of reason why Alvin is a treacherous.
Yeah.
We get backstory.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out that Stoick and Alvin used to be friends. They were best of friends, inseparable at birth. But Stoick was the son of a chief, and Alvin was just a soldier. And so, by the time a dragon attack came, there was a decision that neither of them agreed on, and Alvin did his thing, and that caused a few injuries.
Almost like the beginning of part 1.
Mm-hmm. For some reason, DreamWorks. This episode usually reminds me of the stories that Pixar usually tells. How they usually have characters that kind of represent their mirror image, their polar opposite.
Mm.
The kind of person they'll turn into if they continue on their path.
Sort of like was it Woody and can't remember that evil teddy bear. Third movie.
Lotso. No, it wasn't that. A better example would be The Incredibles.
Ah.
Yeah, Mr. Incredible and Syndrome.
Mm.
Both were stuck in the past.
All right.
But, and so it kind of God, man. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah, Alvin and Stoick. And let's see. So yeah, Alvin goes along with rescuing Stoick, which is really kind of surprising because all of the first season and the first half of the second season, he's all about destroying Berk.
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, we got some character growth, really.
And I actually like this. This two-parter is like really, it's actually getting really high on the list. It's actually on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly the growth of, we get to know more about Alvin. Mm-hmm. We get to see now the clashing personalities of, Snotlout and Hiccup, and how the parallels of that with Alvin and Stoick. And so, of course, it was kind of odd seeing Mildew fighting. My God, that was weird. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Oh, yeah, and of course, while this is happening, Hiccup sends a letter via airmail to the other writers that he knows how to stop the Screaming Death. And they have to lure the Screaming Death to Outcast Island, and they do that using the dragon root. And
oh my God,
Fish Legs and Meat Lug.
Debate.
And they get to Outcast Island, and honestly, I kind of called this.
You called it.
Mm-hmm. But is that the Screaming Death is like closing in on Meat Lug, and I'm like, just fart already. and
it had it inside its mouth.
That is the strangest thing. It actually pulled a Godzilla moment.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like from the 1998 movie. Yes, the one that every fan wishes doesn't exist.
Flip a cord?
Alright, so what happened is that the Screaming Death actually gets Meat Lug in its mouth and is just about to chomp on it, and then Meat Lug farts in it.
And mind you,
just the reaction on the Screaming Death was hilarious, really.
It was. And so, it was the gases didn't mix well? Does it go about the fire?
I think he was like, oh my God.
It pretty much, the fire exploded backwards in his body. How did that not kill him?
I think he just used, I think the fire was more like a cough, remember? From the eel effect?
Yeah. But it was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
I mean, I thought it was all the fart jokes were being overdone because we saw it multiple times, but it actually stood out.
Yeah. Unless that's what they were unless that's what they were doing. They were kind of setting us up for that.
The ultimate fart joke.
Yes.
My God. So, now we have Screaming Death mixed with Dagger, mixed with Alvin, all in one place.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So, but Dagger, captures the mother whispering death, and forces Hiccup into a trade. Night Fury for the mother, and well, who saves the day but Snotlout? Being his usual defiant self, he charges in head first and ends up freeing the Whispering Death Mother, and we get, I guess, a kind of touching scene.
It's I don't know Whispering Death.
I don't know how you can express awe and oh in the same.
It's certainly not a baby thunder drum.
No, it isn't.
It's not cute.
But it kind of cute when they reunited.
I mean, they're nudging each other, but still, it's kind of creepy.
I know, but at least it was nice to see a different expression on the Whispering Death other than anger. Mm-hmm. And Snotlout and Hiccup reconcile, and I think that we see an actual newfound respect from both of them, actually.
Yes. And so now I'm guessing
all is forgiven between Alvin and Stoick.
Yeah. And of course, yeah, I guess, yeah. So, bygones are bygones.
So outcasts are no longer outcasts?
I think, or maybe they are, they're just the tribe. They're now out. Yeah, just, there's an alliance. And I guess Dagger is captured.
Yes.
Because...
Hello, Alvin.
No, Dagger.
Hello, Dagger.
Remember me.
And that slimy voice. Remember me.
And it's Hiccup, brother.
No, totally worth it.
Yeah, and the episode ends with a monologue from Hiccup, which really, there has never been an opening or closing monologue in the entire season.
No.
Hardly any in them.
Well, it was mostly in the first.
Yeah.
It was the beginning episodes.
Yeah, with a lot of the episodes. A majority of the episodes.
But, yeah, not in this one.
No, just the ending of that one. And I gotta say, the way it ended was pretty good. You saw all the writers do their thing, and Hiccup and Toothless fly into the sunset, and Hiccup monologuing how how Berk is really just the best place to be because of the dragons. Would you want to live in any other place?
No, I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. And that's just how it ends. So, pros and cons. Pros was that the pacing was good.
Pacing was great. Development. Definitely development.
Yes, development. The story.
Oh, yeah. And they nailed every end. We had, remember, as I mentioned, Screaming Death.
Dagger's whole goal catching the Night Fury.
Yes. And they managed to resolve it all.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of starting to wonder if Netflix didn't want to produce a few more seasons, would this have been the end?
Probably, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. Honestly, this was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing ever produced, but my God, it's grand.
Yeah. Cons? Not very many cons, really.
Unless you want to count lack of comedy, but you can't put comedy in something serious.
I mean, you can sprinkle a little in, like with
treacheries,
with the treacheries, with the twins, trying, being interior designers.
Yes, oh my God. Spielberg, we have your shark.
What?
We have your shark, Mr. Spielberg.
Oh yes, yeah.
We're gonna hang the shark on the wall.
I actually saw that shark in the Heather Report.
My God.
Hiccup was sleeping on it.
So yeah, really not much to be complaining about in this episode.
No, this was a good episode. I would say this is definitely somewhere in my top 10 list of best episodes from the first two seasons.
Definitely in mine.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, that was a great way to wrap up the second season. And before we do end this vlog, I will say this: we will be doing one more vlog, and that will be what I consider the bridge between Defenders of Berk and Race to the Edge. Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so we will see you next time.